Everyone thought Caleb saved her life until the day she destroyed his. Caleb Moore was the kind of guy people barely noticed at first. Not loud, not flashy, not chasing attention. He was the one who listened when others talked, who showed up when no one else did. The kind of person who believed that loyalty, patience, and quiet effort were what love was built on. And then there was Iris Hale. She wasn't just beautiful. She was fragile in a way that made people lean in closer. Soft-spoken, artistic. The kind of girl who always seemed like she was carrying something heavy behind her eyes. To most people, she was mysterious. To Caleb, she was someone who needed help. They met in their second year of college in a late afternoon psychology lecture neither of them really wanted to attend. Iris sat 2 rows ahead of him, sketching in the margins of her notebook instead of taking notes. When the professor asked a question and she froze, eyes darting around the room, Caleb quietly slid a folded piece of paper forward with the answer written on it. She turned, smiled. Just for a second. That was it. Not fireworks, not some dramatic moment. Just a small human connection that would change the shape of his life. They started studying together. At first, it was just school, but slowly Iris began to open up. She told him about her panic attacks, about nights when her thoughts felt so loud she couldn't sleep, about how she often felt like she was too much for people. Caleb didn't try to fix her. He just listened. And when she cried, he stayed. Their relationship grew quietly, like something fragile being protected from the world. Caleb walked her home after class. He waited outside her dorm when she was having bad days. He learned the signs, when she went silent, when her hands started to shake, when her smile didn't reach her eyes. And Iris leaned on him. "You're the only person who doesn't get tired of me," she once whispered while they sat on a cold campus bench at midnight. Caleb didn't hesitate. "I'm not going anywhere." From that moment on, he meant it with everything he had. Over the next 2 years, Caleb slowly shaped his life around Iris's needs. When she couldn't attend social events because of anxiety, he stayed home too. When she missed deadlines, he stayed up late helping her finish assignments. When she spiraled into weeks of emotional numbness, he became her reminder to eat, to shower, to get out of bed. Friends began to notice. "Man, you're always with her," one of them said once. Caleb just shrugged. "She needs me." Even his best friend, Evan Parker, said it gently one night. "Just don't forget about yourself, okay?" But Caleb didn't hear it as concern. He heard it as misunderstanding. To him, this was love, sacrifice, devotion, choosing someone every day, even when it was hard. Iris told him constantly how much he meant to her. "You're my safe place. I don't know what I'd do without you. You're the only reason I can breathe some days." Those words became his oxygen. By their 3rd year, Caleb's world had shrunk. He stopped going to parties, lost touch with people who weren't part of Iris's orbit, turned down opportunities because she didn't feel ready to be alone. Even when he was exhausted, he told himself that love meant endurance. And Iris, she was getting better. Not suddenly, not magically, but slowly. She started smiling more, dressing differently, talking about finding herself. She joined an art group on campus, made new friends, started staying later after meetings. Caleb was proud of her. He thought this was the happy part, the reward for all the nights he had held her together. But then, something changed. It wasn't dramatic, no big fights, no obvious betrayal, just space. Iris stopped texting as often, canceled plans more frequently. When Caleb asked if something was wrong, she would smile and say, "I just need time to breathe. You understand, right?" And he did. Or at least, he told himself he did. "I don't want to lose myself again," she explained one night. Caleb nodded, even though something inside him tightened. So he gave her space. He stopped checking in so much, stopped asking questions. Let her move freely, trusting that love didn't need constant proximity. What he didn't know was that while he was stepping back, someone else was stepping in. Evan had always been around. He and Caleb had been best friends since high school. Late-night gaming, inside jokes, the kind of brotherhood that felt unbreakable. Evan knew about Iris's struggles, knew how much Caleb had given to be there for her. When Iris started pulling away, Evan was the one she talked to. At first, it was harmless, checking on her for Caleb, asking how she was doing, making sure she wasn't alone. But emotional proximity has a way of blurring lines. They started meeting for coffee, talking about things she no longer talked about with Caleb, laughing about things that once only existed in Caleb's world. And slowly, something shifted. The truth didn't come in a dramatic confession, it came quietly, cruelly. One evening, Caleb noticed a photo on Evan's social media, a blurry picture at a cafe he recognized. Iris was in the background, laughing. His stomach dropped. He didn't confront them right away. He didn't want to believe it. He told himself it was coincidence, until a mutual friend messaged him. "Hey, I didn't know if you knew, but Iris and Evan are kind of a thing now." The words didn't make sense at first, like hearing a language he didn't speak. He sat on his bed, staring at the wall, replaying every moment from the last few months. Every cancelled plan, every distant reply, every time she had said she just needed space. That space had been filled by his best friend. Caleb asked to meet Iris in the same cafe where they'd once planned their future. She arrived already knowing why. He didn't raise his voice, didn't accuse. He just asked quietly, "Is it true?" She looked down. "Yes." Something inside him cracked, but he forced himself to stay composed. "How long?" She hesitated. It just happened." "What does that mean?" he asked. "Because you told me you needed space to heal." She swallowed. "You were there when I was broken, Caleb, and I'll always be grateful for that. But now, I want something different. I want someone who represents the next chapter of my life." The words were gentle and absolutely undevastating. "You mean Evan?" he said. She nodded. Not once did she say she was sorry. He met Evan later that night. Evan didn't deny it, didn't even try to justify himself much. "I didn't plan for it to happen," he said. "But you were always busy with her, and she needed someone." Caleb stared at him in disbelief. "I was busy for her." Silence. That was the moment Caleb realized something unbearable. Both of them had rewritten the story. In their version, he wasn't the loyal partner who gave everything. He was the past, the before. The guy who helped her survive, but not the one she wanted to live with. In a single week, Caleb lost the two people closest to him. His phone went silent. His routines collapsed. The life he had built around Iris vanished overnight. But the pain wasn't just heartbreak. It was the question that haunted him every night. If I gave her everything, why wasn't I enough? He replayed every moment of their relationship, searching for where he failed, where he could have loved better, been more, done something differently. Friends tried to comfort him. "You didn't do anything wrong. She used you. You deserve better." But words don't erase wounds. What hurt most wasn't that she left. It was how she left. Not with honesty, not with respect, but by replacing him with the one person he never expected to betray him. Weeks passed, then months. And slowly, something inside Caleb shifted. He began to see the relationship not just through pain, but through clarity. He realized how much of himself he had erased, how often he had ignored his own needs, how he had equated love with suffering. He didn't resent Iris for needing help, but he finally understood something crucial. You can support someone without losing yourself. You can love someone without becoming their entire foundation. He had mistaken self-sacrifice for devotion, and in doing so, he had built a relationship where he existed only as long as he was needed. Months later, Iris sent a message, not to apologize, just a short text. "I hope you're doing okay. You really were important to me." Caleb read it once, then deleted it, because by then he finally knew. Love that only values you for what you provide is not love. It is dependency. And when the dependency ends, so does the relationship. Caleb didn't come out of that story bitter. He came out wiser. He learned that loyalty should never require self-erasure. That being someone's lifeline doesn't mean they'll choose you when they can finally stand on their own. And that sometimes, the people who say, "I couldn't survive without you," are the very ones who leave when they no longer need saving. Because in the end, he didn't lose her. He found himself.